Namaste and welcome. In this holiday season and winter solstice time of rebirthing, we begin to think about the new year and how we want to start with a clean slate. In order to do this, we're going to have to let go of some of that unnecessary baggage we are all carrying. And this mental emotional baggage, it keeps you beating yourself up over and over and over again, sometimes for some of us with no end in sight. It can block your ability to experience accomplishment and contentment personally, professionally, spiritually. It can even keep you from fulfilling your true purpose. It can make you unable to feel the freedom of forgiveness and self-acceptance, and most importantly, self-love. I'm Kumari. I'm the founder of Divine Human Institute, where we share wisdom, teachings, and tools to empower you to unwrap your healing, your manifesting, your intuitive and spiritual gifts. So today's healing topic, if you haven't guessed it yet, guilt. Probably you know it quite well. We punish ourselves when we hold on to it, right? We sometimes have to repress it or suppress it because it feels too ugly. We can't accept the feeling. We can't accept the actions that we perceive as the guilty actions. And so people can feel all sorts of energies around it: queasiness, burning in the stomach, pounding in the head. Some experience great fiery pain, brain fog. You have trouble thinking clearly. And healing grief is perhaps one of the most impactful things that can help you do. Now, I will be sending Reiki or universal life force energy to all who wish to receive it through this video, anytime, anywhere. I've already made that intention and that prayer. I'll guide you through some energy healing and releasing practices and meditation to help you clear this debilitating energy of guilt, so you can more easily get unstuck, move forward with your life, your decisions, your projects. You know, guilt, it reminds me of that saying about anger. You may have heard this. It's like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die, right? Staying angry. Well, guilt is like drinking poison and expecting someone else to feel better as a result of our suffering, right? That's what happens when we belabor this mental emotional feeling of guilt. And I'm not saying it's easy to release. It can stem from all sorts of things: feeling responsible for negative outcomes that befall someone else or yourself. It can come from feeling regret for real or imagined misdeeds, both past and present. We can feel responsible and guilty for any negative thing that happens to members of one's family, our partners, our loved ones. Our attachment to them can extend our guilt feelings, and taking responsibility even for someone else's misfortune or problem. And I'm sure you've all experienced some or all of these. Interestingly, when I was doing a little digging around, is there a particular body part or organ system that is impacted by guilt? Basically, in Chinese medicine, they don't even talk about guilt in the Eastern cultures nearly as much. The Judeo-Christian idea of original sin seems to have cultivated in the West this phenomenon of incessant guilt. And so that's some food for thought about your mindset, what you believe actually to be true. So ideally, guilt serves to get us into action, to take care of something differently, to learn from our misdeeds or mistakes. But so many of us have it in spades in so many conscious and unconscious ways that have nothing to do with actual actual actions that are deserving of it. We're almost born into it. And that's actually true. So contemplation, just think about how it can actually serve a moral or ethical prerogative. So, is there a need for you to still take action around something or someone? For instance, offer a genuine and sincere apology, without defending yourself, or to accept full responsibility. Maybe you've been dodging being responsible for certain negative outcomes, and do what is reasonable to make it right. Take action, aligned action, and then make peace with yourself. Think about the mistake long enough to learn from it, to take the lessons, the life lessons, the opportunities to grow and move on. So easier said than done, right? Forgiveness. Sometimes we can't forgive ourselves because we don't even understand what true forgiveness is. It's not about forgetting what someone else did or what we did, and letting us off the hook. It's releasing the energy of guilt as a means to constantly punish ourselves, or to keep us in line where we don't trust that we'll behave unless we are always punishing ourselves, to be aware, to act responsibly. So, FYI, I can't take your guilt for you. No matter how powerful a healer you think I am, or that I really am, I can lead you to the water, but I can't make you drink it, right? So, this healing intention is something you have to choose on the deepest level. All right. We know that what we think about expands. So, thinking positive terms, or thinking specific and precise things that we want to change, that we want to let go of, letting go of resistance, and fighting what is, that resistance of shoulda, woulda, coulda, can go something like this. I release any thoughts and feelings of guilt from any time, space, and dimension. Now, take a breath. I move forward with ease and joy now. As I grow in awareness and responsibility, the ability to respond differently, I accept, forgive, and love myself. You can make your own intention, but truly you need to make it a new choice, okay, about this. And then what we're going to do next will be powerfully releasing. So let's begin. I'm sending life force energy of Reiki, very, very powerful, to help you reset, realign, and release. Now, use your mind just enough to focus in on something or someone that you feel guilty about, something that you're still harboring, or something that you think you haven't been forgiven for. It's still, there's something on your side of the fence. It's not really true. They're forgiving you is really on their end, but you might still feel badly about it. So think of this scenario just long enough until you feel it. That's what lets us get into the issues in the tissues. And that's where we resonate and have the vibration of guilt that is causing so much destruction and chaos within. So you might want to close your eyes. And now feel into the body after you think of this scenario, and you can pull up some of the feeling of the guilt. Some might call it shame. I'm just focusing on the guilt for now. Just feel into the body. Where do you notice a restriction, a contraction, a tightening, a heaviness? These are all the energetics of something that is on the negative spectrum of things. Where do you feel this guilt essence or energy? And just zoom in. Say it's the belly. Someone else might find it in the heart, the throat, in the head, wherever it is. Just be with it for a moment and just notice the energy. What does it feel like? Is it tight, heavy, dense. It's making me sneeze. Just make a choice, a decision to allow this energy a little bit to come up. This allowing and accepting stance is part of the profound healing that's about to come. It might feel like it gets more intense because you're no longer suppressing. So if that's happening, allow it just a little bit at a time. You don't need to get the whole ball of wax if it's too much. Grace and ease, what you can handle now. We're allowing this emotion to once again, from being stuck, once again be energy in motion, and breathe. Could you allow this old energy pattern to come up now, move through you and release? You don't have to know how, you just have to make a new choice from dodging it, repressing and suppressing it. Could you allow it to begin to release and move through you? And breathe. Would you allow this old energy pattern to move through you and release? You're giving your mind, body permission to make a new choice. And when will you allow this energy of guilt to move through you and release? This energy that you're feeling tight, constricted, heavy, whatever it feels like. Some might be overall just painful. Just stay with that area of the body and notice if it changes. We're going to do a few rounds of this release, conscious release work. Just check in and see how you're feeling now. Is it any different? Is it moving? Moving is good. You might say, well, it started in the belly, but now it's in the chest. Or it's in the chest, now it's in the throat or head. If it gets really intense, go right above the head, bring your awareness right above the head and allow it. It's almost like pulling the cork out. Just allow that. Sometimes when we focus in on where it's really tight and heavy, it expands and it's too intense. Just allow the cork to release right above the head, up and out. And breathe into it. If it's tight, you can use your breath to start opening that space. You're letting go of something that's probably been there a long time, consciously or perhaps very unconsciously. Let's do another round. Just notice how it feels now, if it's any lighter or different, changing texture. Some people see colors, changes color. Just notice how the energy is letting you know that something is shifting and moving. If you've lost the feeling completely, use the story of guilt only as long as you need it to get to the feeling. Remember the story, not to punish yourself, but just enough. Oh, yeah, there it is. Okay. Come back to the feeling in the body. Let the story go. That's a form of mini detachment from the details in the story. We're so attached to our stories. And just be with the energy, the feeling in the body, where we're holding these past restrictive imprints. And just be with that energy. Allow that tightness, that constriction, that heaviness. Just allow it to be for a moment, coming up from being repressed or suppressed or stuck or shoved down. Just allow it to come up a little bit. There you go. And breathe. And could you allow this old energy around guilt in the body. Don't go to the mind. Stay in the body. Could you allow this energy to move through you and release? Yes, of course you could. You might be thinking, would you? Would you allow this energy to once again be in motion? This emotion to move through you and release. And when? Part of you might say, I don't know. I don't know if I'm ready. I don't know who I'll be without this feeling. It's all okay. Just you're allowing a new train of thought, new ideas and concepts that you could possibly at some point move this through. Let this go. When you're ready. In perfect and divine timing. And just notice how this energy feels now. Is it still in the same place? A scale of 1 to 10, is it the same as it was before? A little bit less, a lot less? Can't find it? All perfect answers. This is you just becoming more aware and more allowing. And I'm here helping you with Reiki. Take a nice deep breath. Let's go for round 3. Find that energy of guilt in the body. Where is it? What's it feeling like? Does it have a texture, a color? Sometimes people smell energy, or they have a picture. Something they totally forgot about comes up. Where is it in the body? You might not even have a story connected to it, but we're releasing all sorts of threads to this energy of self-disapproval. Could you allow this energy in the body, this tightness, this constriction, this heaviness, this pain, this discomfort, whatever it is, could you allow it to come up a little bit more now? Just stay present long enough with it to let it come through. The big rock you had it hidden under. And breathe. And once more, make the new choice. Could you allow this old energy pattern to move through you and release this imprint from times long since past? Could you allow it to move through you and release? Would you allow this energy in the body to move up and out? And when? And breathe. I'm going to send a little more Reiki. And some of you, I'm feeling this energy in the getting a little stuck in the head. So just once again, bring your energy to the soul star chakra. That's the jumping off point about 12 inches above the crown, the top of the head. And it's that energetic higher chakra that links you and the rest of you, your soulful self. And a lot of times that seems to release the pressure in the head that accumulates during a big release. And breathe. You can breathe in and out the top of the crown, just to open that, pop that cork, if you will. Create more of a pathway for letting go with more grace and more ease. I'm so grateful that you're choosing to do this. The more and more we shed our baggage, especially this heavy, dense energy of guilt, the more and more we give others permission to do the same. We allow the old stories to fade away, all the threads that connect us to past pain and that keep us from our joy and our success and our abundance. It's so freeing. I pray that all of you are able to move through a huge, big luggage container today and to continue doing this release work as long as you feel the need. Some of you may be feeling done, others may feel like you want to continue. Take your own time. You can revisit this video anytime, and the energetics will support your next layer, peeling away. Allowing your soulful, shiny self to come through. May you enjoy this new, lighter version. Happy holidays, happy new year, happy new you. Namaste.